Hey guys, this is William, and I'm really excited to announce the general availability of Grid AI today, and I'm going to show you very quickly an overview of what you can do with Grid AI. First, I'm going to show you Grid Run, which lets you execute any code on the cloud without changing your code at all. So I'm going to be using the pytorch examples repo for this. First, I'm going to clone the repo, and then I'm going to navigate to the dcgan folder where I can see a file called main.py. I'm going to run it locally first, just to make sure there are no bugs. Now that I know it works, I'm going to run it on the cloud using Grid. First, this model can actually run on 2 GPUs, so I'm going to add those arguments. Next, I'm going to go ahead and change the word Python to grid run, which is the run command for Grid, and I'm going to run this on 4 V100s with 2 GPUs, and I'm also going to use spot instances because I want to save money on this. I'm actually not going to run just a single model, but instead I'm interested in sweeping over the learning rate of this model. So I'm going to use syntax that's special to Grid, and I'm going to sample from a uniform distribution, and I'm going to pick 4 learning rates from that. So now Grid is going to automatically spin up 4 experiments here. Since I'm spinning up 4 experiments, each on 2 GPUs, that's 8 GPUs in total. Grid will automatically scale up and use 2 nodes and then put each model on 2 GPUs per node. Now press enter and it will submit the run. Grid will now spin up all the infrastructure for you and put everything you need to be able to run those models. You can use Grid status to check the status of the jobs. While I wait for those jobs to start, I'm going to spin up a Grid interactive session. An interactive session is a live machine with a notebook installed, SSH connection, and VS Code connection so that you can develop, prototype, analyze, debug models, whatever you need to do there. In this case, I'm going to use 4 GPUs on that machine. Now let's check on the status of the jobs. I'm going to go to platform.grid.ai and log into the UI. There I can see that my models are already training. I can look at the artifacts. I can look at images, anything that comes out of those models. Then I can look at the details of the run and see exactly how I can replicate it. At the top left, there's a badge that you can just click on and copy, paste into your GitHub README, and you'll be able to replicate exactly that run. Next to that is a clone button. You can click that button and it will replicate that run exactly. In the details panel of the experiment, you can also see the artifacts, the build logs, and the logs that come out of your model. My session is live now, so I'm going to click on the button to take me to the Jupyter notebook that's installed on it. I can see that I have 4 GPUs, but I actually want to SSH directly from my laptop, so I'm going to do Grid status, find the name of my interactive session, and then type Grid interactive SSH, the name of the session, and voila, I'm in. You can see that now I'm in the interactive session. But I generally want to use my ID with the interactive session, so I'm going to open VS Code. I'm going to click on the Explorer, and then I can see that my interactive session is listed there. I just double click into it, and voila, I'm inside the machine. There's a lot more about Grid that I didn't show here, including uploading giant datasets for high throughput availability. Grid also works really well with any of your experiment managers that you're used to working with. And finally, all of this is free on the community tier. So all you have to do is create a free account. We'll actually give you $25 in credits, and then off you go. To create your free account, visit platform.grid.ai. I hope you enjoy it. Me and the whole team at Grid and PyTorch Lightning are super excited to see what you build with Grid.